All right, y'all. Let's get down to business basics. I always think it's funny when I talk about this kind of stuff. But hey, that's what I want to talk about. Let's do it. Are we, everybody, are we just our minds? Weird question. Might sound kind of weird. What does that even mean? Well, first the answer, I guess, is obviously not. There's no way we're just our minds. Our minds are thinking, right? They're, what goes on up here constantly. For most of us, constantly, all the time. There's something going on up there. But is that really like what we are? Is that all there is to us? This activity in our brains up here? I mean, no, it can't be. Because sometimes it does stop and we don't disappear. I mean, I would say that's kind of the proof. Well, like, there's got to be some separation between, like, what this junk is up here and who we are. And I can remember in my life kind of like when that happened. And it felt like something important, but looking back on it, it's like that was a huge shift for me. I remember thinking, like, the way that it hit me was that there was a delay, that there was a lag between something happening in reality, in the real world, and my mind describing it, basically, commenting on it, doing something with it, talking about it. There was a lag. So even between my action, moving my arm, and saying in my head, arm move, or I just moved my arm, like, which one happened first? Often with my actions, I'm moving before my mind can actually make some thought about it, like, I'm gonna move my arm. Of course, I can trick it by saying, I'm going to grab my hat, and then I grab my hat. Most of the time, that's not what happens, though. It's just, whoop, I'm walking across the room. It's not like my mind is saying, like, this step, and then this step, then this step, then this step. No. Something else is doing that. Something else is telling my body what to do. And that's crazy. That's like a, whoa. Because, like, for me, I think for a lot of people, the mind likes to think that there is zero lag, that the interpretation, the thought about it, is the same as the happening, the reality, the experience. And that is the main ruse, I would say, now. And the people who are real caught up in it, for them, the lag is almost non-existent, and the mind is just, and there's no difference between reality and the commenting on it. It's the same. It's confused. The mind is not seen as like something that's making something you hear a lot, conceptual thought, concepts. The mind is not seen as something that's making concepts out of reality. It is it just is seeing itself as reality. And that's insanity. That's crazy. Conceptual thought. Like, if you'd asked me 20 years ago, or whatever, what that is, it would have been, it's hard to describe. It's hard to be like, to fully be like, this is what my mind is engaged in all the time. Is just concepts. What does that mean? What's conceptual thought? That's what our mind does. It, you could say, reduces stuff to concepts. Tree. Okay. Concept. Word. 4 letters. Tree. Light. 5 letters. Light. As if we have any idea. So I think the main thing for me, how this has impacted me, is this is basic. This is fundamental spiritual stuff. Because it goes to identity. It goes to the core of identity. It breaks mind identity, basically. Because when you're stuck in it and you don't see the difference between experience and describing the experience, your identity is your mind, basically. Right? That's all there is. You're stuck in it. That's all there is. If there's even the slightest gap that you're aware of, then you become something else. What you become? Great question. We can talk about that another time. But you definitely can't identify with like the computer that is your mind basically anymore, the conceptual representation. Because it's not fundamental. It's not the thing that happens first. It's the thing that comes in later. And I don't identify as the thing that comes in later. That's the describer. There's something that happens without that. And that feels more real. Because the describer, where is that? It's all up here, completely. It's all up here. The describer. Like, have fun up there. Sometimes talking about what's actually going on. A lot of the times fantasizing, making stuff up. Computing stuff. I gotta go. Thanks.